Happy Tuesday, family. Welcome to Excellence in Everything Live. I'm your host, Linnita Hosten. Super excited that you're joining me tonight, where the goal is that we are helping students build their competence, their confidence, and their competitive advantage so that they can ultimately do what they love. We call it their dream career, and also make you proud in doing that process. So I'm really, really excited to be here with you today. And you know what? I feel like the prayers that we casted last week in regards to the families in Uvalde, Texas, I feel like God heard them because the energy is different while our hearts and minds are still with those families. But you saw the topic today. We have a special guest. Her name is Tamika Williams. She's actually one of my chapter sisters for the Women's Business League. And Tamika is the executive director and founder of Beautiful I Am, an organization that empowers young girls and women. And they're doing phenomenal things. Okay. And you know, I'm very passionate about finding people who are doing substantial work with our young people effectively and are doing it creatively. They're relevant, they're reaching them. And so we're going to hear a little bit about her work and any advice that she has for people like us who are in the village working with young women right after the intro. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world will be of excellence. You will achieve your highest goals and desires with excellence. You are capable of excellence. You have an inner power of excellence. You will achieve excellence in everything, every time. Hey, Tamika.
Hi, Lanita. How are you?
I'm good. I'm really excited to have you because I know about the awesome work that you're doing, and I know your heart. I get a chance to experience it every month, and I'm excited to have you tonight.
I'm definitely excited to be here with you guys tonight as well.
So go ahead, jump on in, tell the people like who is Tamika? Who is Tamika Williams?
Okay, outside of being a goofball, I am born and raised Washington D.C. Educated in the PG County school systems. Graduated from Suitland High School. Hey, Suitland. In 2000. I went to undergrad and grad school, all in Maryland. Been here pretty much all my life, actually. And I am just passionate about seeing women and young girls overcome, and I think mostly because I was one of those young girls who once felt like she didn't belong or felt like she couldn't overcome obstacles. But I was
Mm-hmm.
so grateful for the village that God placed around my life that I was able to overcome those obstacles and not just overcome them but succeed and be able to reach back and help other women and young girls. So that is who I am. I'm just passionate about any and everything that I do. Again, a ball of fun. I love to have fun. I love to just bring good vibes to wherever I'm at, and I just love to encourage people. I really feel like that's what
Yeah.
God gave me to do in this earth, is to really encourage people that they can just achieve anything that they put their mind to. You just gotta have that discipline, and you gotta be willing to put the commitment in to see it to fruition.
For sure. For sure. You talked about you mentioned obstacles that you had to endure or to get over in order to be empowered to do the work that you're doing today. What were some of those obstacles if you could use like plain language? What were some of the things that you had to work through as a young woman or a young girl?
Sure, that's a good question. So I would say one of the biggest things is low self esteem, right? Because I was a plus size woman, young girl, still am. Um, but I was a plus size girl, and I didn't consider myself to be the prettiest girl, or the people, guys around, or people didn't consider me to be the prettiest girl. So I had low self esteem. I felt like I wasn't as smart, as I wasn't catching on as quick as the other kids in school. So my first thing was to just go into straight like clown mode and just become the class clown. And instead of, saying, "Hey, I need help," or just being
Mm-hmm.
embarrassed, right? Like, cuz when you're growing up and you have, you're with your peers, you don't want to seem like you're the dumb one in the group. And so raising your hand and asking that question to me was like, I want to be seen as the dumb one. So a
Mhm.
lot of that, a lot of self-doubt, a lot of not believing in myself, a lot of not believing what people around me were telling me
Mm,
that I was capable of doing. So working through that, navigating through, teenage life, which is crazy, um, and still trying to maintain some sanity, still trying to enjoy my teenage years, even into young adulthood. Like, again, that village that is around me, that I'm still blessed to
mm,
have around me today,
mm,
really, they loved on me when I was just like straight crazy out my mind. I
mhm,
was a very rebellious child. So like my mom would be like, don't touch that. And I would be like, this, you want me to touch this right here? And she would pop me and I would go back and do it again and again and again and again. And people laugh at me, but I'm so grateful and thankful that my mom and my dad were of the old school. Like, they tore your butt up. And I'm glad, because I was very determined and rebellious.
mm,
And I wanted my way. But through me growing and maturing, and like, again, that village around me helping me to take that same determination, but to channel it in a positive way, is why I am here today. And that's why
mhm.
I do what I do. I want to, work with women and young girls. I don't care what your background, I don't care what you've been through. We're going to help you cultivate that and channel it so you can move in the right direction.
I always feel like our journeys, or and people say this all the time, our journeys are not for us, our stories are not for us. We were
Mhm.
meant to go through the challenges that we have so that we could help other people. So when I hear you talk about your story, I feel like you have, based off of your experience, you have a very unique ability to reach the population of girls who are not easily reached by those who don't have the compassion, they don't have the heart, or they have not experienced maybe some of the challenges that you can relate to. So it may be easy for you to spot like low self esteem or the byproduct of that, or like
Mhm.
adverse behavior and the root of that. It may be easy for someone like you to see that. So I'm assuming that is, if do you feel like you have like a sixth sense when it comes to working with Gen Z or young girls, I should say?
I actually do. I think because I've worked with young women and women for so long, I can tell that young girl who's in a crowd, but she's standing alone. I can identify those young girls who are acting out because they want attention. And, I can tell the girls who are quiet and they're not giving you no type of, I ain't giving you no energy. I can pick that out really
Yeah.
quick, and I can tell that there's something underneath, or there's something behind the behavior, right? A lot of
Mhm.
times we want to just throw these kids to the side because they just acting out. No, there's a reason behind it. Whether it be they just outside, they not around mommy and daddy and they just want to be crazy. Okay. But there is a reason, I believe, behind every behavior that we see in our younger generations, and this next generation coming up,
Mhm.
that I'm able to pinpoint it and be very empathetic towards it. You know what
Mhm.
I'm saying? So like sometimes, like, my journey may not be what they went through or what they're experiencing, but I can be empathetic towards it, and
Yep.
I can be compassionate, and I can understand them. I
Yeah.
may not agree, but I can
Yep.
understand.
And I love that because that's what we want. No one wants a talking robot. Don't agree with me on everything, but respect my opinion. And I always say, teens want autonomy. They want autonomy over their thoughts and feelings. They don't want to be told how to feel in the best way to feel. They want to be heard. Even if we
Right.
disagree, we can do that. But they
Mhm.
want to be heard ultimately. So listening is such a powerful skill. It's such a powerful skill. What do you feel like are some of the common issues like that you see with the young girls that you're working with? What are some of the common issues that they may have challenges with?
There is a shift in like these generations coming up, like, whereas, the girls who are like now in high school and things like that, they weren't vocal with what they were battling behind the scenes, right? And the newer generation, like, they are just completely shut down. They're not tapped in. They're not in touch with reality. They stay on their phones. They stay in the virtual world. I just dated myself, the virtual world. Anyway, they stay, on online to
Yeah.
escape from their
Yep.
issues. So when you trying to like pick at pick pick away all those layers of cement that
Mm,
they have built on, rightfully so, because some of our young people have been mistreated. The adults who have been responsible for them have done a horrible job
mm,
at nurturing them and guiding them. And these younger generation are being exposed to things that I personally wasn't exposed to. And so I understand why the wall is up, right? But
mhm,
Miss Tamika is gonna love on you enough to get that wall down. So some of
mhm,
the things that I am seeing is a lot of comparison, and it's not with the people around it; it's what they see on social media, right? There's what they see in um like the shade room. I ain't gonna fake. I watch the shade room. Okay, I guess that's how I get my trash news. Anyway, um, the shade room, or what these new rappers, or what these new social media influencers are coming. I see a lot of comparison of their life to that. So like when you talk to some young girls, I found this very interesting. A couple of young girls told me, oh, I want to be a social media influencer, and I was like, that's very doable. We can definitely do that. And I asked them, well, why is it? Because they get attention.
mm,
Okay. Okay. And I'm like, what are you going to do with that attention when you get it?
mm,
I don't know. Okay.
mm,
And this is all good stuff, because now I know how to help you mold this social influence, so that you can profit off of it and create
right,
a career for yourself. You
right.
know, so I definitely see these comparisons. And it's, again, it's not with their peers. They can really care less about their peers nowadays. They are looking at the person on social media or Instagram getting all the likes. And so you
Mm,
see them repeating those same behaviors or same things that they see,
mm,
because they want that same attention.
mm. And I guess that's relative to us living in a global economy now that they have access to basically anything worldwide that is plugged into the internet. I guess that's the gift and the curse of having
Yeah.
access to that much information. I always say we are in a accelerated tech society, and so yeah. Wow. Okay. Comparison. Were there any other common trends or challenges that you see in addition to comparison, or would you say that's the leading one?
I would say comparison, and then right underneath of that would be this characteristics of shutting down,
Mm,
not wanting to solve the problem, but just wanting to shut down. Like, I don't want to deal with it.
mhm,
Um, and not being tapped into that reality is life is hard. Reality is you are going to experience some hard things that you got to work through, and they're just like they don't want to go that extra mile. They just want it to go away. And we all know that that's not
mm,
how life is. Things don't just go away, like, you want to have to, it's going to take time. But that, so I'll say the comparison, and just, they just completely tapped out. They just shut down from everything, because they don't want to know how to cope or deal with the situation. And
mm.
then two, they just don't want to deal with it. They don't want to have to deal with those pressures.
I love that you said they shut down because one of the things I am adamant about teaching is how to have difficult conversations. And
Hmm.
when I talk to the village, and that could be a parent, could be a community leader like you who works with a nonprofit of girls, but like understanding how the brain development of kids form and how that affects their ability to manage their emotions, it's scientific, really. We're having a conversation with someone who is underdeveloped mentally but
Hmm.
yet showing signs physically that they are developed. So it's a play in your mind for starters, but the reality is they have to be taught. They have to be taught. So not allowing them to be free when they shut down. I always say
Hmm.
you'll know when a person is ready to talk, not pushing them to talk when they're not ready, but not letting it go either. So
Yep.
coming back when things have calmed down, like, hey, it's now a good time to talk. Infusing that, being intentional about getting it out. Because what happens when we keep stuff in, it stays, it's stored into our body. And I feel
Yep.
like the aftermath of that is going to school upset and flustered, easily like irritated. So that's how fights are easily to be picked because you have a mismanagement of emotions and really projection. And
Yeah.
so teaching them to let out, verbalize how they're feeling, and not allowing them to be like clear and free when they shut down. So I love that you said that, and I had to pull that out.
Yeah.
Mhm. Okay, so tell us about the work. What is Beautiful I Am? Like what y'all be doing over there? How are you
I'm
working with the girls? Tell us about that.
I'm glad you asked that question too. So beautiful I am is my passion. Like if I don't ever get paid a dollar to do this, I will invest everything I have into ensuring that this organization services our community, because what I want to see is our community more move forward. And I think a big part of the community moving forward is getting our young girls ready for what's next after 18, like and then not only getting them ready for that, helping our women to sustain throughout life, because we change every day, we evolve every year, we're not the same people that we were 10, 20 years ago. So beautiful I am is a women's organization where our mission is to empower, inspire personal, professional, and educational growth within women and young girls. And we do that through free programming within our community. And the reason why we do free programming is because a lot of some of the populations that we service, they're the vulnerable populations, and mommy don't have $4,000 to invest into a dance program. And I'm not saying anything is wrong with that, or they don't have the money to really invest into all these extra curricular activities that happen out in the community. And I know when I was coming up, we used to go to Boys and Girls Club and it was free, or your parents only paid like a registration fee and that was it. So one of the things that we wanted to do is bring free programming back to the community so that every young girl can get help. We believe every young girl and every woman deserves a helping hand, and we don't think that money or a price tag should hinder them from doing that. So we have several programs. So our biggest programs right now is our Little Ladies Book Club, for ages 4 to 10. And we work on reading and comprehension with our young beauties, teaching them how to read and how to improve in their comprehension. Because one thing that we believe at Beautiful I Am, if you can read and comprehend, there is nothing in this world you cannot do. And we believe that young girls starting at a young age, we can catch that and we can instill that at a very young age as they maneuver throughout life, they'll be way ahead, in terms of living. So we work with our young girls in the beauty little ladies sorry little beauties book club, and then we also work with social skills with them.
Mm.
And we also work with making sure that they know how to do public speaking at a very young age, and ensuring that they understand it's okay to think outside of what everybody else is thinking. And it's okay to have your own opinion. And we want to tell you that it is okay to express your opinion. And we want to give you the tools on how to do it the right way. So that's what we
Mhm.
do with that book club. And then we have our Beautiful Me mentoring programs for ages 11 to 18, and we work on everything that is revolved around life skills. This is a life skills organization. We want our girls to be prepared and ready for whatever comes their way. So we do things like financial literacy programs. We do days in the life of an adult where they are given a budget, they're given a credit score, and they have to maneuver through life. They're given scenarios, and we did this during COVID. And at the end of that session, every one of those girls was like, I am good with being an adult. I'll stay here where I'm at now. It's too much responsibility, which
Yeah.
was good. Which was good
Mhm.
because we gave them a taste of what they want so bad, what I wanted so bad when I was their age. And so
Mhm.
like we even do things. We teach them how to change tires.
Oh my
Like,
gosh.
you need to know how to change their tire if they find themselves on the side of the road.
I love
Um,
that. I
like
don't even know
I,
how to change a tire.
exactly, and
I need to
I learned.
come.
See, you got to come to that session. Even how to change your oil, or just like
Mhm.
something so that we don't think about, that we look to somebody else. But what happens if you stranded on the side of the road? And that's what happened to me and my mom. And my mother taught me on the side of the road how to change a tire. And I'm like, every
Mhm.
woman and young girl should know how to change a tire. So
Mhm.
anything that is pertaining to a life skill, critical thinking, just anything, we work with our girls. We're doing a session next month on all things beauty and teaching girls how to properly take care of their hair. You know, so just those things there for that group. And then we have our adult women who are 19 and up, and it's called the I Am Beautiful Women Circle. And we focus on three S's, and that is to start something, to start over, or to
Mm,
sustain something in life.
mm.
And that is what all of our sessions are about. We have accountability partners that if you come to us, we'll assign to you to help you get started. We will help you start over. We will help you sustain wherever you are in life. And we believe that we need this type of support in the community for women who may not be able to get it from somebody in their home or in their neighborhood. Well,
Yep.
that's what Beautiful Eye comes in at. You can
Yep.
come into a safe space where you can just be who you are
Yep.
and not feel judged and get all the resources and learn how to take your life where you want it to go. And that
Yeah.
is something that is I stress. I can't save y'all. But what I can do is give you the resources so that you can save yourself. And then when you get to where you're going, you can come back and help somebody else save their self. So
Mm-hmm.
that is, Beautiful I Am, in a nutshell. Again, it's free. Um, we learned a lot during COVID. We learned how to pivot and take things
Mm-hmm.
virtually. So it
Mm-hmm.
allowed us to actually reach out beyond Maryland. Like we have girls that's in New Jersey. We have girls
Wow.
um, in Atlanta who are part of our virtual mentoring programs. So and I'm grateful to see it just growing and see like people, really starting to tap in and understand what it is we're doing in the community.
I absolutely love it. When people ask me all the time, do you have any suggestions for me to send my son or my daughter? Like, any mentoring programs? And I don't know if this happened because of the pandemic, but the number of organizations that I was aware of that was doing that work, they've significantly decreased. I don't know if they just have not yet returned or if it's been difficult to recapture the attention of young men and young women or participation is low. But I rarely have a suggestion. I rarely have a referral of an unpaid mentoring opportunity.
Wow.
But I'm super passionate about though is I don't just like to send people anywhere. There's a kind of heart that I feel deserves access to our children. And not
Yep.
everybody is in this space for the pure edification of developing them. I feel like sometimes I can feel when a person is doing it for their own self-inflation. And I don't
Mm-hmm.
like that. I don't like our
Yep.
kids being attached to people like that because energies are infectious. And so when I
Mm-hmm.
find people whose hearts are pure, it's very clear like you're in it for that one reason, and that is to be a vessel in someone else's life. I'm you won me over for life. So I love to send referrals, and Beautiful I Am is definitely one I'm definitely adding to that list. I want to stop and take a moment because we had some people who are watching today. Robin says that's great that you are teaching the girls AutoCAD. She said I love
Yeah.
it. Blind Guy, his wife in their life is always, he's like one of our top viewers. He said, comparison in so many social messages that people automatically do it. Yep,
Yep.
for sure.
Yep.
It's almost like you have to retrain your mind not to do it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Hmm.
Yep.
He also says that you have a gift. Tamika has a gift. I agree.
Thank
I
you.
literally agree. I think your brother was here today. He said, "Go, babe, your sis, go, sis. Your baby bro is so proud of you."
Yes,
Oh,
that's my baby brother.
hey, Alan. And then we have some other viewers as well. Thank you all for watching tonight and for joining the discussion with Tamika and I. Again, Tamika is the founder and executive director of Beautiful I Am, Girls and Women's Mentoring Group. And they're doing incredible work programming, and it's free. Someone says you need an award for this show. For this show, best content, best design. Period. Thank you,
Yes,
and with
I
the T,
agree.
they said period.
Yep. I agree with that purr. Okay.
I appreciate you. Thank you for your feedback. And the last one, the one doesn't have a username, but they appreciate the subject matter. One love, and thank you for viewing with us tonight. Um, so one of the things you alluded to was the importance of the village being not only a sounding board, I call them arms to kind of hold and nurture our kids. And the village I define as anyone who is involved in the development of a young person. They don't have to be the maternal or the blood relative or the paternal. It's just someone I'm invested in making sure you get where I know you're capable of going. Whomever
Mhm.
category fits that description, I call them the village But you talked
Right.
about a little bit about like how instrumental they are. I wanted to know, like, from your point of view, what are some things that today's village, if someone identifies like they are in support of a young woman, what are some of the things that they could be doing to help garner, push, elevate, help a young girl or young woman be progressive in thinking and building her self esteem? Like, what are some things that the village can be doing?
The first and most easiest thing that you can do is talk to them. Simply have a conversation with this young person. Don't just look at them and like, ugh, look at them, just they just do whatever. Actually try to garner some type, get a conversation going. And no, you can't bum rush them like, oh, you should be doing it, because we all know, we being young, we don't want to hear that. But befriend them. Show interest in
Mm,
them. Show interest, like
mm,
true interest
yes.
in them, and that is going to take some of you taking time out of what's going on in your world
Yep.
and spending time with them, and getting to know them, and then pour into them. It really, and it doesn't cost. I learned it doesn't cost that much to take time out of your day to go and see this young person is wounded, you see this young person is on the wrong track. Invest into them, encourage
Mm-hmm.
them, empower them, speak life rather death into them. I think if we
Mm-hmm.
had more people in the village who stop pointing the finger at what is obvious, we all see it, we know,
Yeah.
okay? But what is your solution for it? And that's another thing with Beautiful I Am. One of our biggest goals is to be the solution, not the problem. And we know what the problem is. Like, a crackhead doesn't need to know that he's a crackhead. He knows. He don't need you telling him that. But what are you going to do to help that person? So
Mm-hmm.
I really I think just taking time out and really talking to our young people, and also another key thing that you need to have is empathy, and remember where you came from,
Mm.
because we ain't always been saved, sanctified, filled with the Holy Ghost. Okay, there is a past.
Yes. Remind the
There
folks, please.
Yes, yes, you was a weed head at one point too. You was out here running up and down Metro and doing all that crazy stuff too. And yeah, when we were front adults, we didn't do those things. Yeah, but we did some things. We do have a past, and be very transparent with them. They don't need a book of
Mm-hmm.
rules. They don't need a book of rules. They know the rules. They know right from wrong. They need somebody who is going to be transparent, who is going to show some empathy, and who is going to show some long suffering with them. Because it
Mm.
may not happen overnight for that person that you're investing to. It may not happen over a year or two, but the longer and the more you pour into them, you eventually it's going to happen. And I think about like my dad's mom, my grandmother. She used to tell me that, girl, you are going to be something to mess with when you get, when God finished with you and he get that foolishness out of you. She told me, just like, she's like, you're a foolish girl. And I was, it was true. She was like, you are going to do something in the nations that is going to turn heads. She was like, I'm telling you right now, Tamika, God
Mm.
has something great in you. And I look at, that was so many years ago and she's passed on, but look where I am now. She may not have been able to get to see it in the physical realm, and I always feel a little bad about that. But what she invested into me years ago is coming to fruition. So you don't know when those seeds you're planting in them are going to start to sprout out,
Mm.
and you don't know what situation, because sometimes unfortunate circumstances have to happen for us to like get it together, and be there for them. And I can't stress enough, be transparent.
Yeah.
Again, they can see through you more than you can see through them. So, I
Mm.
would say, because I mean, you think about, you could tell when somebody is just like, oh, they're trying to be, Martin Luther King, they're trying to do that thing, or I'm trying to meet a quota. They know who's real and who's not.
Mm.
These
They
kids
do.
know what's real and what's not. And you know what I love about them? They'll tell you that too.
They will.
They will say, I had a young girl a long time tell me, she was like, oh, you all acting like you all holy. You just as bad as us. And little did she not know that when I left that program, I was going to be as bad as them. But I was portraying myself
Yep.
to be this upstanding citizen, knowing daggone well what I was doing later on. So I just believe in being transparent. I'm not afraid to talk about my mistakes. I'm not afraid to talk about my adversities. I'm not afraid to talk about the bumps I've had in the road because I've overcome them. And so because I'm not afraid to talk about them, I'm also not afraid to tell you that you too can get up and you too can
Mm.
make a difference in your own life if you are putting that work in.
Hmm. So grateful for people like you who are a part of the village and doing the work, the stuff that's not sexy, that doesn't
Hmm.
always get the accolades or the public acknowledgement. So I give you your flowers. And I know
Thank
we
you.
talk about it from a place of beauty, but it is a beautiful burden to care for others, people's children in a capacity in which sometimes they may not get somewhere else. They're
Hmm.
relying on us to be, to hold their hands and to be a listening ear. And
Yes.
it's beautiful. It's beautiful and it can be burdensome. But I feel like God equips us in a way in which we're able to do it with so much grace. And I would say the same for you. So thank you. Thank you. We
Thank you.
need more Tamikas. We really, really do. Jeez. Okay, so do you have any upcoming programs or any upcoming events that you would like to share for those who are watching who want to get their daughters involved or they may want to volunteer?
Absolutely. So, what we've learned is that we during the summertime we kind of pivot from our traditional sessions, and we do more things that's interactive because some kids don't have the ability to go to summer camp. So every 2 weeks we have an event planned for them, starting in July. So, like I mentioned earlier, our next session for our beautiful me girls 11 to 14 is the all things beauty, where we'll have a professional hairstylist come in. It's going to teach our girls how to maintain their hair. And the beautiful thing is
Mm.
they're going to have some mannequins to work on. They're going to have some real
Ooh,
flat irons. They're
ooh.
going to get in there and, learn how to do that silk press that we pay $5,000 to get our hair done. Um, they're going to be able to have
Nice.
opportunity to learn that at the Beautiful Me next session. And then the little ladies book club, the little beauties, I keep saying little ladies, the little beauties book club, they are doing candle making. So they're going to be doing getting their books, and they're going to be doing candle making. And the beautiful thing about the book club is that after every session, we give them the book that they read, they get a free book, because we want them to start their library up, and we want them to be able to, because we've helped them navigate through the book, go home and practice, because that's how
Mm.
it becomes permanent in you. And so we encourage that with them. And then our adult women, our girl Linnita here is going to be teaching on public speaking for our
Mm.
ladies 19 and up on the 25th of June. So if you want to learn how to present and be a boss at public speaking, our girl here is going to be teaching that session for us. And I know this is about Beautiful I Am, but I want to thank you too, Lanita, for all
You're
that you
welcome.
do and just providing me a space to come and share about Beautiful I Am. So yeah, so the rest of the summer is events. You can check out everything that we're doing on our website, which is www.beautiful-im.org, or our social media platforms, Instagram and Facebook at Beautiful I Am Inc. We'll always be posting what we're going to be doing. We have a splash party coming up in July. We have a fun day coming up. We have a lot of different events coming up, and we're always looking for volunteers. And if I could just touch on that really quick,
Mhm.
this organization is completely volunteer based, ran, and we can't do what we do if we don't have volunteers. And it's been a challenge over the last couple of years finding volunteers that really want to sacrifice that time. And it's not even much. We don't ask for much. We actually don't allow you to volunteer but for one program, because it can be taxing. And so we're always looking for women who want to make a difference in the community but want to be committed to the community, and
Mm.
that community is our girls and our women. We don't like starting relationships with a young girl and a volunteer, and then you move on. That's
Mhm.
so damaging to them, because they have allowed you to take down their defense mechanism, which is their wall, and then you go away. So we are looking for committed volunteers to do this gringy work. It's hard work, but it pays off tremendously when we start seeing our community move forward. So we are always looking for volunteers. And if you don't want to be a mentor, you can always work in one of our committees. We have a program committee, we have a fundraising and event committee, we have a business operations committee, and we have a outreach and stakeholder committee. So if like, I can't do these girls, I can't do the women. Well, you can come over and help us on the other side of things, because that's important too. Because another big aspect of our organization is outreach. We give back to our community, and when we give back big. So that's you can again, on our website you can go and learn about other opportunities and how you can volunteer to be a part of Beautiful I Am and how we're moving our community forward.
And that's beautiful-im.org.
Yes.
Okay.
Yep.
Okay. And we'll put that in the show
Yep.
notes as well. Thank you for sharing that. Thank you for
No
sharing. Y'all
problem.
got a lot of work going on this summer. You heard us say if you don't have the funds to send your child to summer camp, thinking about an effective mentoring program is a great alternative. Someone who
Exactly.
was joining us today, I don't see your name, but they said, I really enjoyed the presentation and the quality of the presentation. Keep up the great work, Linnita. Please tell me who you are if you're watching. I can't see your photo or your name, but I appreciate you and thank you for tuning in tonight. Thank you so, so much. I'm sending a warm, warm hug. Tamika, I got some sound off questions for you, and I don't want you to think about them. I just want you to answer
Okay.
them in like a.
Oh, I
Okay,
like it.
so we know you're a woman about your business because you are helping other children. What do you do for fun? What does Tamika do for fun?
This is okay. What I do for fun is I spend time with my family, my niece and my nephew. I'm a new auntie. My nephew was born in 2019, and then my niecey Pooh, Aubrey, she was just born last December, and I just really love spending time with them and watching them grow up. And then I'm gonna be honest, and then my other guilty pleasure is TikTok. I be on TikTok so hard, yo. Like I be learning. I'm telling you, there's no reason for us not to know how to build stuff. Like everything is on YouTube and TikTok. So those are my guilty
Mm-hmm.
pleasures. Is like being on TikTok and YouTube, and just like I'm talking about research everything. Like why
Mm-hmm.
is the sun on this side and not on that side?
Mm-hmm. There's no excuse when you don't know something. No excuse. Second question: what inspires you?
Victory,
Mm,
victory, winning inspires me. Seeing, and I don't care what size of winning or victory it is. It could be I did not cuss this lady out today. That is inspiring to me. That pushes me to, you know what? Tomorrow I'm going to aim not to cuss out even more women today. Like victories and and winning. And again, it
mm-hmm.
could be so small. It could be that woman who got out the bed today. With everything that they facing, they got out the bed. That is inspiring to me. That is
Mm-hmm.
inspiring for me to keep going in what it is I'm doing. And the most thing is just seeing these young girls believe in themselves and understand that they are more than what they could have ever imagined, and women too. So that winning and victory thing, that just does it for me. That makes me go extra
Mm,
harder. It's not my own
mm,
winning. It's not my
infectious,
own winning.
infectious. Oh,
Yes.
okay. Okay, Dyke. Thank you for watching. I see you confirm. Alan said TikTok. I'm assuming Alan already knew the answer to that question. I think he
He
said it
does.
for you.
He does.
And he also said that you cannot stay off of it. Okay.
Nope.
Somebody know their
Mm-mm.
sis.
I know. Let
Somebody
me
know
put
their
my
sis.
business out
What is the best advice you've ever received?
there. Ooh, this is a good one. The best advice that I ever received from my uncle, who is also my pastor, Pastor Alan Williams of the New Glorious Church. Check us out on Facebook Live. Um, is something that my great grandmother said. You haven't lived long enough to know that everything is going to be all right.
Mm,
I did not understand that when he first initially told that to me, but as I have grown and I've overcome so much, I understand you haven't lived. Everything works itself out as long as you put in that work. Bad days are not going to be bad days forever.
mm,
Losing seasons are not going to be losing seasons forever. You going to win. You're going to get everything. When you put that work in, you have no choice but to win. So it
mm,
will be, you haven't lived long enough to know that everything is going to be all right.
mm. Beautiful. Always like the words from the wise. They just hit different.
Yeah. They
They
do.
just hit different. Tell us about who was your favorite teacher and why.
Ooh, my favorite teacher, her name was Miss Smith, and she was my 10th grade English teacher. And the reason why she was my favorite 10th grade, favorite teacher is because one, she didn't play no mess with nobody. Like, she didn't play. She was like tough. I thought she was gonna be soft and we was gonna be able to get over her. She was like, no, not in here. But and then two, the best thing is she taught me how
Mm,
to write a basic paper, something that I didn't necessarily know how to structure a paper. And she meant before you left out of her class that year, you were going to know how to write a paper. And
mm,
I am so forever grateful to her for making that determination to make sure that the kids who came through her class knew how to write a paper.
mm-hmm. Well equipped. I remember my 12th grade English teacher. We had to memorize every preposition and be very well versed in the capitalization of articles. And if we did not have those two criterias, if they were not reflected in any of our writing, it was a fail. It
Oh,
was the
wow.
most, she was so stringent. Like people were like dropping her class. No one wanted to take her, but I'm really glad I stuck with it because it has really strengthened my writing skills. But having teachers who are like that, who are adamant, like when you leave here, I've adequately equipped you the best I could. It's really, the onus is on you whether you got it or not. But I know I did my part. Those kinds of teachers, they hit different.
They do. And you don't appreciate them until you're long gone, until you're down into adulthood. You like, dang, Miss Smith, she was, man, I'm so glad she put me out that day. Cause I needed to know that I can't be acting like that.
Yes. Yep. Long gone. We have some new people who are joining us today. India says, hey. Hey,
Hi,
India.
India.
And Alan is saying, hey, too. I guess him and India just having
Oh
conversation.
yeah, we yeah, they cool.
What are any final remarks that you'd like to leave with us today?
I think the final my final remarks will be find something that you can do to add value to somebody else's life. And I'm saying that because our young people, they're going to be our caretakers. They're going to be the ones who are representing us
That part.
coming, as we age. Like I never imagined myself like being that this person be like, oh, the young people. I'm always for a long time I was a young person, and now it's like,
Mhm.
no, I mean, I ain't old, but I'm definitely not a young person anymore. And I take my responsibility of helping nurture that generation um very serious. And so
Mhm.
I would beg you, please, even if you don't want to do it on your own, find an organization. And I really want to stress, we need to start starting more organizations. I'm not one of those nonprofits that's like, oh, I can service everybody. No, I can't, because there are some people, some young women or women that I just don't have the qualifications to help. But if I know that there's a sister organization over here, I'm going to push you over there. I'm big on, once I
Mhm.
have the knowledge, to pass it on to other people. You
That's
want to
good.
know how to start a nonprofit? Call me. I will tell you everything you need to know. I will hand walk you through, because the more organizations we have that can service the community, the more we can do within our community. So
Mhm.
I just want to encourage people to find something, some young person, some program, some organization, and do something. Be a part of the solution and not a part of pointing the fingers at them, because they
Mhm.
know, they see, but what are you going to do to help change how they see life and how they move forward? So just
Mhm.
find something, do something, and be a part of the solution is what I would like to leave.
I love it. I love it. Be a part of the solution. Y'all got y'all CTA, y'all call to action. Those of you who are watching, thank you so much, Tamika, for lending your time and joining us today. And I'm excited about our session. She
Yeah,
alluded to that I'll be leading a public speaking session for the young ladies. I'm gonna bring the juice. We're gonna have a good time. That's the goal, and that they will
yep,
leave adequately equipped with a new skill, something they'd be proud to share with someone that they learn. So thank you for the
yes.
invitation to be a part, and thanks for joining us tonight.
Yay. Yes. Thank you guys so much for having us. Again, part of my goal this year is just to get out there and put beautiful I am out there in the atmosphere, so that you will know that there's an organization that's out there that you can send your young girl, or you yourself can come. Like, we have parenting programs, especially for single moms, that you can come and get some support. So definitely check us out, www.beautiful-im.org, and our social media platform on Instagram and Twitter, not Twitter, Facebook is at Beautiful I Am Inc.
I love it. Thank you for sharing with us, Tamika, and good
Thank
night.
you. Yay, thank you.
Listen, it's really okay. I have not birthed children. A lot of parents and organization leaders have trusted me with their child, and even though they may not be my children, I'm real particular about the kinds of things and people they be around. I'm real particular about that. I just feel like it's a special kind of person God equips to work with, particularly those who are in adolescence. It's a special kind of person, and Tamika is definitely that person. So if you're looking for an organization in the DMV area, which is where Tamika's organization is located, but she did say that they do have virtual programming. If you're looking for a place to get connected or get your daughter or a mentee or your cousin or any female that you may be in the life of, if you're looking to get them connected to a program, reach out to Tamika or Beautiful I Am. And if you didn't get the information, you can shoot me a message and I'll make sure to send it to you. But we want to make sure we definitely are adequately pointing our young women in the right direction. And I'll say this, I was at a networking event last week. I met a guy who runs a tutoring program. I asked him what was his biggest challenge. And he said the biggest challenge is finding people who are willing to commit 1 hour once a week, 1 hour once a week to tutor a child. He said, we have the funding, we pay them. That's the challenge, getting people who will be willing to offer their time. And time is it's our most precious asset. And I think out of all the places we could expend it, equipping our next generation is a great option. 1 hour. 1 hour. And because I practice what I preach, I do volunteer actually. I am a volunteer of College Bound. I have a mentee. I've been with her since 9th grade. We meet once a week. And we also do things outside of our meeting time. I volunteer my time. The same service that somebody would pay me for, I'm volunteering. And I love it. And I'm just really grateful. And if you have the opportunity or the option to do that, I would invite you to do so if your heart so desires. But if you're watching today and you enjoy the programming or any of the work that you know that I'm really passionate about doing, I want to remind you there are 3 ways we can work together. If you have an existing organization, like Tamika has an existing nonprofit, you're looking for someone to help write a college and career curriculum, we can definitely partner to do that. If you run any type of programming for like an internship, apprenticeship, you're looking for someone to come in and deliver soft skills training or mental health training, whatever that looks like, I have a team that could assemble a curriculum and a program for you, so we can partner that way. And then there are 3 books that I have. If you're interested in purchasing a bulk order of books, you can do that. And in exchange for your bulk order, I will come and do a free workshop or program, whichever one you'd like to receive. And the most common way that people elect to work with me is to bring me in to speak. And that's typically for 45 to 90 minutes. And so that's an option too. And you all already know this. I'm passionate about our kids. I mean, there's no denying that. I don't think that'll ever go away. And I'm developing a passion to nurture the villages that support them. And I feel like you'll see more of that come down the pipeline as I open up Pandora's box. Well, God opens it up. I ain't opened up nothing. He opening it up. See how I get all tongue twisted. Thank you, India. Awesome. Well, I appreciate you guys. Thank you for joining this week's episode of Excellence in Everything Live. Tanisha's here. She said, thank you, Linnita and Tamika, for your dedication to our youth. Yes. Look, we're going to stand in the gap. We're going to stand in somebody's gap and hold hands. I always, I think about what my funeral will be like. I think about that. What would people say about the things that I maybe have given my time to? What would they say? I often think about that, and I encourage our kids to think about that too. So thank you, Tanisha, for watching us tonight. Listen, that's all I got. I will see you next Tuesday, 8:30 Eastern Standard Time. I absolutely love you, and it ain't nothing you could do about it. See you next week. You are excellence. Your mind is of excellence. Your visions are of excellence. Your unique superpower is nothing short of excellence. You amplify a voice of excellence. Your contribution to this world